I have no idea where to start. This is Suzuki Ignis and it looks funny, strange, ugly, cute. What do you think?
So what is this Ignis anyway? This boxy car is slightly larger than Fiat Panda and Volkswagen Up, but it's a matter of centimeters. First generation Ignis was in production in early 21st century. Back then it was also something like a small crossover. Suzuki was too early with the product because today it would have been a hit like Vitara or SX4, but since Suzuki now has a B and C crossover in its range, what does it need the most? Of course, an A crossover, if there is such a thing. If you want to compare Ignis to something, it would probably be a Panda 4x4 or Panda Cross. There's a lot of accessories to make this miniature Jeep Renegade look more off-roady. And to match its off-road looks, Ignis can be ordered with AllGrip all-wheel drive system.
I know what you're thinking. Who's going to take this thing off-road and why? Well, I can imagine a couple of scenarios involving, let's say, living or vacationing in rural areas. And this tiny Ignis is surprisingly good in light terrain.
Suzuki has three types of all-wheel drive all-grip system depending on the model. Ignis features the most basic all-grip auto. It even says in the manual this is not an off-road car and it should not be doing what you're seeing on the screen right now. Probably that's why Suzuki hid the grip control button at the bottom of the center console. All-wheel drive in the Ignis is based on a viscous coupling. There is no all-wheel drive lock mode, grip control mode simply changes how ESP behaves. It slows down wheels which have no traction, letting other wheels do the work. At the same time, torque is slightly reduced. They weren't kidding in the manual, this is no off-road car, even if it copes quite well on my secret off-road test facility. I drove Fiat Panda and the current generation Suzuki Vitara here. They are light cars with simple all-wheel drive like Ignis, and also in the Ignis, all-wheel drive is what I would call progressive. What I mean is that it lets me know in advance when to back out. Maybe this is why approach angle is about half of the departure angle. By the way, at almost 39 degrees, departure angle in the Ignis is greater than in the new Land Rover Discovery.
Okay, I'm on a kind of foresty dirt road here at the moment with huge potholes after the winter, and with 18 centimeters ground clearance, yes, of course the Ignis will shake a bit, obviously, but as far as I can tell it copes pretty well. The suspension, it doesn't rattle in any sort of suspicious manner which would indicate that bits are going to fall off in a moment. And trust me, I've driven a few cars on this road and some of them, they fall apart before I start driving, and this one just keeps on plowing ahead. Oh, where's the asphalt? Where's the asphalt? Because to be honest, I want to tell you how this thing works on tarmac as well. Yes, on tarmac you can tell Suzuki has a 1.2 liter 90 horsepower engine and the steering is quite lazy. The car is maneuverable, but when you reach a corner like here, you have to turn the wheel a bit more than in other cars. Now, you can expect reaching about 100 kilometers per hour sometime next week if you really want to, but don't try to overtake anything faster than a mobility scooter. On the plus side, whatever I do, this car will not use more than 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers combined, just like Suzuki Celerio. Up to about 110-120 kilometers per hour, Ignis is okay. Anything above that is not its comfort zone. Allegedly, it will eventually reach 165 kilometers per hour, but I didn't dare to try more than 130. No wonder Suzuki didn't put 6th gear in here. It's a city car, and as a city car, it comes with rather irritating dual camera brake support.
This system is based on a stereoscopic camera which allows the car to recognize not just the type of obstacle, but also assess the distance. DCBS also sees lines on the road and vibrates the steering wheel if you sway off course. The collision mitigating system warns the driver when approaching another car or human being at speeds between 5 and 120 km per hour. If the driver does not react or reacts too late, the system begins emergency braking. In optimum conditions, DCBS can avoid collisions with another car at speeds of up to 50 km per hour and with a pedestrian up to 30 km per hour.
DCBS is very sensitive and makes irritating sounds. It probably means I should change my driving habits, but I consider myself a rather sensible driver, so I can't imagine what the Ignis would be like in the hands of someone who's more in a hurry. You can turn the system off with a button down here on the center console where you can't see it, like the grip control button. You press it, hold it, and there you go, a yellow light comes on that the system has been disabled. I don't like having yellow lights flashing on my dashboard because it means something's broken. No, it's not broken, I just switched off the irritating system. Ugh. Anyway, if you turn the ignition off and turn the car back on again, the system will be on again. Irritating. Not the system as such, just the fact that it's very aggressive, this one.
Suzuki says slits on the C-pillar are like in the 1970s Fronte Coupe. An interesting feature, but I'd rather be able to see something over my shoulder. Good thing there's an optional backup camera. Speaking of which, the infotainment system is some terrible aftermarket Kenwood or Pioneer depending on the market. What happened to the simply elegant infotainment system from the Vitara, S-Cross or Baleno? This test example arrived in Europe in September 2016 and this radio is a temporary fix. The 2017 batch comes with a regular infotainment system, which now is also compatible with Android Auto.
Otherwise, the interior is functional. The seats are comfortable for this segment and heated, by the way. There is enough space in the door pockets to store a large bottle of water or maybe a thermos or something. There's a place for my mobile phone next to the cup holders. Not sure if that's a good idea. A 12-volt socket, a USB port and a 3.5mm jack socket down there. Now I love this AC panel, which looks like, I don't know, one of those cans in science fiction films where they're carrying some viruses, and maybe that's not the best comparison. Anyway, I like the way it looks. The glove box, pretty big. Not only for this smaller car, but pretty big in general. I just don't know what this is. I mean, what? I could put my glove here. Probably it's not designed for that. I suspect in some markets there may be an Ignis without a passenger side airbag and then you get more storage down there or something. This is the best I can come up with.
There is surprisingly good legroom and headroom in the back. The 5-seater model has fixed seats. This is a 4-seater with sliding seats, which gives you more boot space. Backrests can be put upright to give you more space to carry boxes, or folded, but there is no flat loading area. In all-wheel drive versions, the boot is just 204 liters and it's among the smallest in the class. All-wheel drive takes up around 60 liters, but a front-wheel drive Ignis boot is bigger than in the Volkswagen Up.
For me, Suzuki Ignis is like a small terrier. It's happy, it's eager, it's adventurous, and that's why I like the Ignis. I also like the price. It starts at 12,000 euro and this top range model costs around 18 grand.
And how do you like this tiny almost off-roader? Let me know in the comment section below. Share, rate, subscribe, and if you like what I'm doing, please help me on Patreon or PayPal. Links below, new reviews every Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.